Welcome to another step-by-step Touch of Magic tool tutorial in Disney Dreamlight Valley. In today's video, we're going to be recreating Moana's dress. This was her original level 10 friendship gift. The Touch of Magic tool in Disney Dreamlight Valley allows players to create their own custom clothing. This dress takes all 50 layers, and all motifs used are in the original open save, like your first login, so you'll have all of the motifs available. No worries about collecting new ones to follow along. To help other people find the video and to let me know you appreciate this kind of content, please bippity boppity that like button and launch Valley's hook at the subscribe button. Let's get started. Okay, so we're outside and we are in Moana's current level 10 dress. I am very excited to change out of this and start creating the original orange dress. So while this blue dress is really cute, it is just not for me, so I want to recreate the original. We're going to go ahead into the custom designer tool and choose the strapless gown. First I want to pick out the color. We're going to go with kind of a coral to match her top, because that's where we're going to be using the cutout tool later. And then for the hem of the dress, I want to accentuate the curves and flow of the original gown. Now here I'm kind of getting an idea of the placement of each piece, but I think I'm just going to start on the hem first. So the motif I'm using is one of the original motifs that we get right at the start of the game, and I'm going to put this in an orange to replicate the base of the original dress. These almost look like palm fronds a bit, and I'm using a photo Ember provided as a reference for that original hem design. So I'll be referencing back to this picture throughout the tutorial. It's been very helpful for me to just have the original dress design, and unfortunately I didn't have my own, so thank you again, Ember, for sending me some of these original photos of the incredible gown. Right now, I'm just kind of trying to get the hemlines to all go down. I want it to almost have like a palm frond taffeta look. So these pleats are created with the illusion of shadows from the tornado motif. And I just rotated that tornado. It's in the miscellaneous section. And now to kind of expedite the design process, you'll see me going into the design options section and using the opposite copy tool. It just kind of speeds things up. We're not leaving them where they are most of the time. I'm just backing out of it and then rotating it and moving it around just to fill in the gaps. And also this coral color does give a little bit of a cushion, so it doesn't have to be quite perfect. It'll be almost impossible to get it perfect. So don't worry if there's little gaps or if it's not perfect, because we really are limited with the motifs available in the Touch of Magic tool. In this video, I'm only using the starter motifs, and here you can see my game actually froze. I'm having the issue here where it just gets stuck. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and come right back. Now, while we are rotating these around, you may have to adjust the size to get it to even out at the back. I do have this set to globe tool, which is the only way to get them so large, but it does make me need to mess around with the way they are placed. Oh, sorry about that. I just had a little bit of the in-game music go off. I'm going to put it on low so we can kind of just vibe and enjoy it while we're decorating the dress. So now what I'm using is the motif. This was in flourishes that almost has like an island aesthetic to me. I do realize at this point though that it's really difficult to see the contrast. So even though in that reference photo the lightest yellow made sense, with the white motif over it, you can barely see it. So first I'm trying out yellow. It almost looks a bit too intense for me, although you can experiment with this and try your own colors. I ended up going with a shade directly above the lightest of yellows, and I felt like this was a nice balance between the two. It's almost like a soft tan, or like just a very, very light orange. And so we're just going through and changing these out. I'm messing around with globe size. It's a little bit big and off globe, so you'll see me kind of playing with this. Again, this is one of those where while you're in the tool, you will find what works best for you. I kind of wish I would have taken this a little bit smaller. I do plan to do this in a live stream with chat, so if you have any ideas while you're watching this and would like me to try the dress differently, I'm very open to ideas on how to improve the design. I think the original is a beautiful dress. We're limited with what we can do with the Touch of Magic tool, but there still is a lot of room for creativity and, you know, ways to rework the design. I have done a few iterations. This one is my third, and if you'd like, I can share some of my earlier attempts with you guys as well. Just let me know if that's something you would like to see. Certainly, sometimes it's nice to see progress. But just let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. I am now bringing in that tornado design again for the second hem layer. I think that going this route makes a lot of sense for that island tropical design. It doesn't have to be just like this, but I thought that this was like the easiest way that I could really replicate the layers and create the depth that we see in the original dress. I'm going to pull that up again. There's some asymmetry in the original. It's very free flowing, so that definitely gives me a lot of room for playfulness and a chance to kind of put my own spin on it. These tornadoes really do remind me of palm fronds, so it's not quite as glamorous as the original, but it still captures the essence, I think. I'd like to know what you think as well. You know, do you think that these tornado motifs were a good idea to use throughout? I think for the hem, they were kind of the only option, and then I was having fun using them, so I just kept using them throughout the rest of the design. I want the bodice to be even, but you're going to see in a second what I do with this front area to kind of replicate the asymmetric sweep that the gown makes on the right side. This is another section where a couple different colors could have worked. I think the tan color that we used underneath the white motif would have worked nicely as well. And then maybe using the gradient pattern, which we're going to end up using for the torso, could have been nice here as well. So there's definitely room to play with it and make it your own and experiment with the style that works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and pause it again in a second. I start using pockets to create a ruffle pattern, and I'll let it get started, but I actually ran out of layers using too many pocket squares to create this fake ruffle, and I had to go back and adjust the size. Now, if you didn't want to do the torso, this gradient tool would be really great for adding in more pleats and just more detail and highlights. And if they ever do increase the number of motifs we can use on a dress, I definitely will revisit this and add in some of these detailed gradients. But for the current limit of 50 motifs, it doesn't really make sense to go in and add individual highlights, as there's still quite a bit to go for the original dress design, and I don't want to, just abandon the top of the dress, and that's going to take quite a few layers to create that crop top effect. So here I'm still just getting it just so, and this is something where you'll adjust it and find your way as well. I decided to go back to what I had originally came up with. So I think, that happens a lot with design. You start out with a cool idea and then you tweak it a bit and say, hey, you know what? I think the way I had it in the beginning was just right. But again, if you're designing along with me, maybe you found a way to place it that you like better. I'd love to see it. If you want to @ me on Twitter or Instagram, I'm @MintyPlush. I'd love to see your designs there. Okay, so now we're hopping into the pocket tool I had mentioned. So I'm just setting these pockets along the edge to create a hem. Now, this current size is actually way too small. So let me just pause the video and we're gonna scoot forward to where I get to the correct size, because I spend quite a bit of time playing with these. So just a second. So we're back and you can see the original pockets that I had. They do look pretty nice. They're creating a nice flow, but again, they created too many layers. All right, so we're revisiting the pockets. I've decided to do an alternating pattern of very large and slightly smaller pockets to cross that distance of this fabric layer with less layers. So while I'm not sure which style I like better, to be fair, I do think the varied sizes almost makes it look a little bit more real. I think I would have preferred a smaller varied size, but what do you think? I feel like this section in particular definitely has room for improvement in the live stream, and again, I'd love to see any of your creations that you do using this guide and see your take on it. I'm just using the copy tool, which is allowing me to save a little time, not have to go into the motifs and miscellaneous every single time to select another pocket. So that's just a little time-saving tip. And the back does look a bit wonky, but we touch up the back at the end. Okay, so, all right. So now it is actually crop top time. So for this first part, I am using the technique we learned from Junimo in my advanced Touch of Magic tool tutorial for Disney Dreamlight Valley. In it, we created a lace cutout, and we got to see some of Junimo's incredible designs like the bikini, mesh fabric, see-through fabric, lace, and it was just so much fun to do that tutorial. If you'd like to see any specific techniques in the Touch of Magic tool, please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate you watching along for this far into the video, and thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial. So now we just pulled the gradient from the shape section. We're going to choose the nude color. You can experiment with different shades of the bottom 2 rows of colors for different skin colors. If you'd like me to see me create a guide for all of the shades available in the Avatar Creator tool, let me know if that's something you're interested in, or if you're having trouble figuring out a specific shade. I would be happy to go into the tool and create that for you. I think some shades may be more intuitive than others, and I'd be happy to experiment with that. Now we're creating the bandeau top. I'm just using the simple line shape, and I have tried using the reverse tool where it places the same object on the back, but that created a little bit of a weird shape, so it's just 2 separate lines. And the one on the back, I believe I'm just using the flat line, not with the globe tool, while the one on the front, I did use the globe tool. Now, there's a little bit of mess at the bottom. Don't worry about it being perfect on the edges at this point. We will be adding the cutout tool later in the design to create perfect hems and seams. So even though right now it looks a bit wonky, most of that those rough edges will just be hidden. Yeah, like I'm underneath the armpits between the 2 lines, there was a gap. I'm just using this leaf motif to cover that, and it's starting to create the interesting. Let me increase the size of this picture. If I can. There we go. So just real quick, you can see in the original top design, there's quite a few little flowers and almost like pearls and leaves. So we want to try and recreate that here. And I'm going to be using a mix of the cutout tool and different shades of red and coral to create some depth in those embellishments. If they were all one color, they just would blend and we wouldn't really get to see them. So this way we are able to see all the shades and really get to create that embellished look that Moana has on her crop top. You're going to find these flower motifs and leaf motifs in the nature category within the motifs section. I'm really liking how it's coming along so far. I want to add in some more embellishments and kind of adjust how this skin tone looks. Now, Gameloft appears, I didn't see anything about it in the patch notes, but it does seem that they changed clothes to have a dark band right at the top of the tank top, so that, and the strapless dresses, so that it's not seamless. And I think they did this just to stay within Disney's guidelines. Maybe they saw some of the more revealing looks that players were creating, and they just they added this darker, almost like shadow to the tops of the clothes when you start adding layers over it. I thought that was an interesting change. I don't really mind it, especially for this crop top that we're creating. It becomes a little bit more complicated when trying to create swimsuits, but there's definitely styles where you can make it work and really look great. So that's something we'll look at down the road if we do a bikini tutorial. If that's something you'd be interested in, please let me know in the comments. And if enough people ask for it, I will definitely create one. So here is another simple shape. This is just the curved shape. And as you can see, the color it's listed at is like a tan, but we're actually using the cutout tool for it. So it's just changing color as we change the color of the actual dress. And I wasn't happy with the curve on the back, so I ended up just using this straight line and the globe tool to create the back. And this is just personal preference and certainly something you can customize to your liking. And as you can see, we were already starting to clean up some of the mess that was in the back from earlier. And again, I'm just playing around with the cutout color and then also the reds. What's interesting is with the cutout color, it's a slightly deeper red than the actual dress. So it almost adds in an additional color that we can't pick in the color wheel. We're just adding more leaf flares just to create dimension, playing around with the colors. And you know, I just had a thought. It might be fun to try doing this in even more color variation at the top. Obviously, that wouldn't be true to the original style, but it could add, you know, a bit of a fun flair. Now here, I'm trying to replicate the pearls or white beads that are on the top of the dress. So I'm using a wand. I don't end up using this in the actual final design. I don't think there's like a tiny speck or like a freehand tool. So this wand motif was a way to sort of get those little white dots that are in the crop top, but it's hard to cover up the wand's like stick part, and the more I cover it up, the less I see the white dots, and it's just in one area. So it'd be a lot better to choose a motif that we already have. And I'm not even sure if everybody has the wand, so I wanted to go back. We go into flourishes, and here we're using another, you know, kind of tropical geometric pattern, and I have that in the white so it can kind of look like the pearls. And by hiding it behind all of our natural motifs, behind all the flowers and all the leaves, by the way, you can just hold down layers and drag them down, and you just saw how it went flying. It only lets you drag down a few layers at a time, so you have to actually scroll to the lowest layer you can get to with the motif still in hand and then drag it down. It's a bit frustrating. I really hope that they fix that in a later update. Then I just add a couple more motifs to sort of, you know, stop it from just being like a grid. We want it to just be poking through to show the white dots behind the motifs. And I think we do that nicely here. And just adding in that white does create even more dimension between the dress and the colors. Now here, I'm thinking I'm done, but you always have to give your garments a full look through. So while I'm really happy with the front, the back, I forgot to put motifs on. So we're gonna go ahead back in and just get that just right. Oh, you just got a peek of a swimsuit I was playing with earlier. That was just a work in progress though, it's not finished yet. Now here, I used, I don't even know what to call this motif. It's like a whirlwind. It's next to the tornado motif in the miscellaneous with the default motifs only, and I'm bringing it down to that very light yellow color. We just want it to look like a palm frond again. That fabric that we're just using all throughout the skirt, and it takes me a little bit of playing around with it to adjust it just right. And again, I'm not totally sure if this is just how I want it. Maybe I would have preferred bringing the pocket hem all the way over back here. Again, that is quite a few motifs, so I'm not sure if I actually would have been able to, but certainly something to play around with. And here, we are on motif 49 out of 50. We've maxed out, and there are not enough slots left to cover the back. So I did something unexpected. I went back into the nature motifs, grabbed a leaf. It's quite a bit bigger than any of the others. And I made it the red instead of the cutout red like I used for the flower, just to kind of vary it. And I'm happy with it. I think that I've actually nailed that look. So I just want to accessorize it a little bit and make it just how I would have worn it before the patch, before the blue dress. Give Moana the look, the gold crown, and then also I was lucky enough to get some cute beach shoes from Scrooge's store. I mean, you can't. The original dress was Moana's gift for completing her level 10 friendship quest. The DDLV community was shocked when Discord user Bramby posted the dress change on the official Dreamlight server. The shocking color difference and removal of the pattern details was a massive blow to many Moana fans, while some players are very happy with the switch to blue. Which color do you like better? Let me know in the comments below. Creating your own custom clothing using the Touch of Magic tool in Disney Dreamlight Valley is a solution to own both colors. If you currently don't have the Founders Edition of the game, but would like to follow along with the tutorial, you may use the Avatar Designer tool available to all players for free. Proactive designers are having fun recreating Moana's original level 10 dress in the Touch of Magic tool. I was inspired to create this tutorial from a post I saw last night by Ember and Needlework Reverie. You can find more info on the contributors to this video in the links at the bottom of the description. Thank you so much for watching the guide today. This is a lot longer than my normal content, so if you enjoyed this longer form, in-depth tutorial, let me know. Or if you would have preferred just like I guess a speed build of the dress, let me know if you would have preferred that too. I just wanted to run with it in the sun in Moana's realm and celebrate her. She's an incredible Disney princess, and I had so much fun making this with you today. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. It'll be really encouraging for me to continue making content like this. I do Disney Dreamlight Valley guides and streams every week. I'd love for you to join me at one. It's so much fun to hang out with you guys. I think I might do a live stream creating some more Touch of Magic tool designs in Disney Dreamlight Valley. So if that's something you are interested in, put the alerts on. I'd love to meet you and to hang out. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Gosh, it's been such a journey today. I have a couple links to other videos up here that YouTube might think you'd like, and the circle with my face on it is a quick subscribe button. So thank you for clicking those, and thanks again for watching. Bye!